Okay, quite a few of us are looking at various transformers that we use for 110 volts. This one's very popular. The ST3000, got quite a few of those around the property. This one came in about a year ago. Would you believe it? I found it in an eBay box that had been delivered to me 1 year ago. So warranty's out of the question. And I pulled it out. I thought, what's this heavy thing in the box here? This is just a really strange thing. Anyway, when I plugged it in, I grabbed the plugged it in. First thing I do with any of these, I have a look on here and say, well, what do we got? Now, with these here, you don't have an on-off switch like a normal on-off switch. They used to use a breaker, and you just switch that breaker on and off. So it works very much like a normal switch. We got nothing out, no output, and I thought, oh, you're joking, really? That's a pain. I've had to fix one of these before, and when you see what's inside one, I'm sure you're expecting a lot more, but there's actually not. Now, this would be termed a 2,000 watt unit, so it's a little bit lighter than my 3,000 watt, but this is a typical fault, which hopefully will prove. I'm going to take a chance on this video. Pretty sure we've got the fault sorted out in our head. But they're great for running. Look, I've got these things like TR7As that run on 110 volt supplies, and I've got another one over here, the PS7, that's 110 volts. That's actually running off that black 110 volt supply, and actually runs one of these fellas here. Actually got that set up over here, just next to it actually. Probably the one to show you, and just let me have a bit of a look. No, I won't show you that. That's right. For now, it's set up a bit wrong. I've got another box that is a bit interest, but we'll do another video on that at some other stage. Back to this little Gen Power step down GSD 2000. Now, this is not to knock the Gen Power or any other brand of them. You know, I've been using a lot of these black ones, the ST3000s. They're all made in China. They're all pretty much the same thing. You're not getting any great value one over the other, so just grab the best one you can. You know, obviously your wattage value, try and grab as high. I've got a few of the 5,000 watt ones as well, and obviously they're bigger again. Okay, so who can pick the fault on this one? We've got our transformer in there, our breaker, our two outlets, etc., and have a look at that. Yep, all it is that in transit, it's dry jointed itself across here, and so basically they run 110 volts basically into the little circuit breaker. Sorry, they run 240 volts into the transformer, then they run into the circuit breaker, and just let me check that. Sorry, I reckon I just misspoke then. Sorry, quite the opposite. They run 240 volts into the circuit breaker, which would make more sense, wouldn't it? You wouldn't leave 240 volts live on the transformer the whole time. Anyway, sorry, then into the transformer, and basically then you're running out to 210 volt sources to be able to plug into. So let's go resolder that fella back and put a multimeter on it. I'll be very curious. I think it'll be the problem. Okay, so a quick solder up there of that joint. Bearing in mind, and by the way, we're live on voltage at the moment too, so we won't get our fingers in there. Bearing in mind, this is why we have circuit breakers. Let's say that output there that are dry jointed was sitting up, jammed up against the case. All bad news, absolutely bad news. It's probably an argument why there should be an ELCB in all these units. You know, you would hope the breaker would do the job, but as my lead falls out here. All right, so as I pick up my lead, which I'm trying to pick up the wrong lead here, sorry. Let's just, oh boy, bit of a look here, and there we go, 110 volts back out of it, and not fluctuating, so a little bit, but minor. There's no load on that at the moment. So, okay, so pretty easy fix. So if you get one of these, please be careful. There's 240 volts in there. There is 110 volts in there. And just remember that the moment you plug power in, you know, all caution needs to be taken. And obviously we'll turn the breaker off. There's no need to have it on at the moment. And then basically we've isolated the 240 volts input to that breaker. Right there and then, and that's it. Nothing can happen. So look, a really easy fix. Just don't panic if you get one of these in the mail and all of a sudden you try to measure 110 volts and you get 0 volts. It'll be something silly. It'll either be, we've seen before where the breaker has failed, to be honest. Had a faulty breaker once before. And this is the second dry jointed one that we've had that has been a bit of an issue. So I'll probably go and clean up all these joints, to be honest. They all look a little bit daggy, and it's not going to hurt just to flood a bit of solder into all of them and finish them off. All right, just a bit of a thing for, there's a lot of you I know are using these devices to power, whether it's CB or amateur radio coming over from the US. Look, they work quite well. These appear to be quite good transformers that they've been using. I really haven't had any problems with any of the transformers. Actually, I've never had one fail. So, from that point of view, the most expensive part about it is faring very well. Okay, 73s to you, and be safe. Don't go playing around with these if you don't have a fairly good idea what you're doing. Remember, there's dangerous voltages inside. 73s from VK3 Charlie Mike JDW229 Tangambalanga Northeast Victoria. Please subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff, and you'll get notifications of what we're up to. Cheers.